Right, here we are. You'll have to bear with me tonight. I'm not doing great. You might have me mute up a few times just so I can cough and splutter to myself without scaring the shit out of you people that have to have it turned up to hear it. Welcome in. This is round 7 of the Jamco TCR Cup that we've got here at the moment. We're just in the final 6 or 7 minutes of the practice session going on before we have Q1 come in. So if there's any drivers that are watching that will be participating tonight, there's still a handful of spaces here in the Q1 session. Don't worry, if you miss out, Q2 will be happening straight after. Just on board here with Ando at the moment. He's throwing down a whole bunch of 111s, trying to get in tune with the car and the track. We are at Autopolis. We are at the short version of it. So very small track, as you can see by the timing markers. It's only about a minute 10 and a minute 12. A bit shorter than the full layout. This is one of those tracks though, this Autopolis circuit. It's one of the tracks that I don't really think about that often, but when I do rock up here, I'm like, oh yeah, this track, I like it. As we just go through the field a little bit. Water Arrow here, another one of the AMG Mercedes drivers rocking that DHL livery. You've got Bradley Point just behind him, who's another one of those AMG drivers. So just see Bradley Point there, just take a bit of a wide line and get caught up on the grass. So exited back to the pits after that. Water Arrow's out at the moment. He's done his best in his first sector. G-Mackie out there in the Valvoline Ford entry. Beautiful, beautiful, simple looking car there. We got IMAT, who's partnered up with Gifo in the factory Ford entries. It's going to be interesting tonight. It's going to be who can look after their tyres very well, being the racing soft only that's available. Out there, he's been circulating around. He's done some 12s, he's done some 13s. Hasn't exactly been the quickest in that focus there, but it does look like a very fun car to drive. Been having some good race 2 battles, especially. Brucey out there, one of the only entries that we have in that Volkswagen Golf, which is surprising because that was a car I was expecting a lot more people to come out in. If you do the engine up just right, it's got a very, very flat torque and power curve, similar to the WRX. So it was my potential pick for front-wheel drive, but we ended up going with an all-wheel drive car, and now I've kind of stepped back into broadcasting and commentating instead. But I thought that we'd see a lot more of the Golf out there and be very competitive. That's not what's happened. Currently got Philo out there at the moment, one of the distinct drivers. We've just got a 2-minute call from Gifo, so that's the 2-minute warning now. If you haven't jumped in this session, you'd like to jump into this session, you've basically got to get in now and get your car on the track. There is a second Q session after this, we've got 11 entrants so far into this session, and there are, I think, 3 or 4 names at least that we haven't seen yet. So, there's Fozzie. Here's one of the names I was saying we haven't seen yet. Fozzie is in the Boxer Beauty entry. Him and Brocky05 racing for Brocky05 Sim Racing. Very, very formidable and almost unbeatable team there in these two. Between them, they'll have all the knowledge in the world of this game. Very beautiful livery there in the Subaru WRX, one of the quicker cars in the bunch. It's in the all-wheel drive class. Matt's been out there for a while. He's been doing some tyre testing by the looks of it. We've got about 1 minute left. 1 minute until the first Q session will start. Don't worry if you've missed out. There will be another Q session straight after this. We just see Fozzie go purple. Fastest lap at the moment, Steve over the 111 dead. It's another all-wheel drive car Steve-O's in. He's in the AMG. Right, it's just ticked over to 7:30. We will be starting in 1 minute. Puts out a great practice lap there, 3/10 clear of Steve-O's best time. This is just practice though. They've got a Q session to qualify into whether they're going to be race 1 or race 2 tonight, if there is a race 2 needed. And then there is a one-shot qualification straight after. Alright, here we go. First of the 2 10-minute qualifying sessions starting right now. This will determine the lobby orders, or the lobby kind of selection of what race you're in. So we see an AMG and a Subaru become one. Like we've got 13 in for the first Q session here. So they'll just slowly sort themselves out, give themselves a bit of space on track. Let's see who is currently up the front is Giffo. He's currently leading them all out with Rucky not too far behind. Rucky sticking to the back of Giffo as much as possible here. Giffo pulls off, ducks into the pit straight away. Not sure exactly why he's done that. He's not carrying any damage. The pit crew is there. They are putting on a fresh set of wheels, so Giffo going for that pit stop very early. Don't know whether that was just to get out of the way of everyone else, or whether there's some master plan behind that mullet there. But anywho, so we've seen Giffo peel into the pits. Means Rucky will essentially be our first one to set a qualifying lap, with Fozzie there in the background two of the Subaru drivers. Hey Ozzy, how you going, mate? How knackety? Welcome in. You've caught us at the start of the Q session tonight. Just seen everyone coming around setting their first flying lap. So we'll go through the field in a second. Right, so we know Giffo will be in last spot at the moment. He'd be just starting his first flying lap now after pitting on lap 1. So far we've got Fozzie up there in first, 2/10 over Brocky. There's another 2/10 over Stevo, who's half a second ahead of Ando. And Ando's 3/10 ahead of Philo there. So your top 5 overall at the moment, you're looking at Fozzie, Brocky and Stevo for the all-wheel drive category. Ando and Philo there for the front-wheel drive category. Followed by Rucky, Arrow, both in the all-wheel drives, and then G-Mac is currently 3rd for the front-wheel drives out of everyone. Goju's very close to G-Mac, you know. So you can see Goju improve on his time here. So just over a minute per lap, about a minute 12 per lap, a minute 11, depending on how quick you are. So you should be able to get, you know, at least a good 7 or 8 laps down. So you should be able to get a good 6 qualifying laps or so in it. So we just see Goju improve. He improves to a 1 minute 12.232 there. Currently sitting in 8th spot. We see one of the Brocky Sim Racing cars comes out of the pits. Giffo just sets his first proper flying lap of 1 minute 12.8. Hey Niffy, yep, this is Q1. So we've just kicked off Q1. We've got about 6 minutes until it's finished. And then you can jump into Q2 if you want. Don't think you'll make it tonight, Aussie? All good, mate. All good, everyone knows the rules anyway. If you don't set a qualifying time in session 1 or 2, you will be automatically in race 2 if you can attend. Hey Digger, how you going, mate? Hey Auto, how are we? Have to apologise, I'll be muting myself up every now and again. I'm not feeling great, I'm not the greatest. Probably hear it in my voice. Got a runny nose, a bit of a cough, the whole family's sick. So I'm here with a bottle of Lucozade, a big glass of orange juice and some soothers. We'll get through it. Alright, so we're on our 5th lap now for most of the cars. We do have a few cars in the pits at the moment. Fozzie he's just gone purple. He's got a fresh set of boots on. He's just completed an outlap. A bit of a slide through the corner there. I don't know how much that'll affect his time. We'll just stay with him at the moment. It's very short sectors here as well, as it is the short layout of the track. So we just see Foz and Goju come together a little bit. Looks like Goju's a bit off the line. We'll look and see. Goju's picked it up very wide. I think he's tried to come out of the way of Fozzie there. Fozzie's just giving him a little bit of a love tap on the way through. So we've got no improvement there from Fozzie. We've got Stevo in the pits. A 1/10.5 behind Fozzie at the moment. He's also half a tenth ahead of Brocky. Brocky is now on an outlap. So he will start a flying lap now. See if he can gain back that time that he's lost out on there. Ando's on 1:11.5 there in the fastest of the front wheel drive entries at the moment. Rucky's 4/10 behind Ando. Philo's now sitting second in the front wheel drive category with a 1 minute 11.992. Got Water Arrows done essentially a 1 minute 12 flat. It's a 1 minute 11.999. Goju's in the pits. He's returned back to the pits. I'm not sure if that's his qualifying session done or he's just kind of waiting for people to come past. Give himself a bit of space on track. We've got Ando pulled over to the side there as he lets G Mackie past. Just wants a bit of breathing room. Bradley Point in that bright green Mercedes AMG sitting in 10th at the moment. It's just over 2 seconds off the fastest lap. He has gone blue though, so we'll just stay on with him as he comes around this final corner. So he improves. He's done a 1 minute 12.448. So that now sits him 2 seconds off the fastest lap and in 10th overall at the moment. Giffo down the back in 11th in this qualifying session. It's on a 1 minute 12.878 as his fastest. Desperately trying to get a few tenths up. iMac, Giffo's teammate, is directly behind him with a very similar time. He's actually in the 13s just. And then Brucey down the back in 13.2. Everyone seems cramped up tonight. Yeah. So Rucky's moved his way up to 4th position at the moment. He's now done a 1 minute 11.034. You see Brocky has gone up to 2nd at the moment, still behind Fozzie. Fozzie's done a 1 minute 10.404 and Brocky's done a 1 minute 10.576. And Steve-O's done a 1 minute 10.865. And Rucky's the first one into the 11s. So the top 3 have all got into the 10s so far. Yeah, your top 3 have all gotten into the 10s so far, and then from 4th right down to Goju, I think they're all in the 12s. As Goju's back out on track, he is on his flying lap at the moment. No improvement, but he's crossed the line just in time to set one more flying lap this session. This session has now finished. Anyone crossing the line now has finished. So Goju's potentially one of the last cars here to finish a hot lap. Directly after this too, we'll get the Q2 session ready for anyone that's missed out on the Q1 session that wants to jump in, settle up and qualify for this race coming up. We'll get Giffo into the chat too to announce the times. Which is 5 tenths down at that timing marker, so he may be unable to improve. Still not giving up, still sending it just in case. No improvement. So it'll be Fozzie setting the fastest time so far. 1 minute 10.404. Well done, Mr. Foz. Well done, Brocky, in 2nd place. Should call position 1 and 2 the Brocky sim racing positions. Call position 3 first. Alright, we'll just go through those results now. So we've got Fozzie in 1st place with Brocky in 2nd. Steve-O's qualified in 3rd so far. Rucky, the first of the 1 minute 11 runners there. Then Water Arrow Ando, Philo, Goju's the first of the 12s. And you've got G Mackie, Bradley Point, Giffo, Brucey, and IMAT. So only 13 in that first Q session. Alright, so that is Q session 1 done now. If you still need to set a time, jump on in as we see Nif joining the room. See, Jishi is in here too at the moment. So Jishi and Niffy will need to set a lap. Fozzie, Brocky, and IMAT there, they've already set their laps, so they won't be setting another lap right now. Session 2 begins at 7:48 p.m.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Not too bad. Session 2 is going to start at 7:48. Dependent on the numbers at the moment, we've got 2 ticked in, so that would give us a total of 15 drivers.
Ah, interesting.
Provided, assuming you're not racing this one.
No, I'm not going to race.
Cool.
Yeah. No, well, if there's only 2 doing the qualifying, I think they're going to automatically be in anyway.
That's correct. So if that's the case, if 7:48 rolls around and we've only got the 2, what we'll do is we'll get everyone to join back in and we'll reset the lobby because there'll be no need to do the second session.
Yeah. So if there is anyone watching in chat, whatever, still hasn't set a time, would like to come and set one, now's your chance. If no one else shows up, we've essentially got a full grid for race 1 and no extras for race 2.
It'll just be one race tonight if that's the case.
And the weather for tonight for the race, is it random weather?
It is random.
It does rain here too, doesn't it?
It can rain here.
Yeah.
Who's just joined in now? We got Aussie.
So we got Aussies just jumped in. The dying moments, 2 minutes left.
That's filled us up to 16. We got another one coming. Oh no, that's just Ruckus coming for a squeeze. So if it's the case of 16, I don't mean to be. I don't want to do it, but we will drop the last one. But I will still award last points for that vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really a point of doing a race 2 unless there's more than a handful, is there?
That's it. Alright, so a couple of minutes away now.
Yeah, Auto Tomoto's just said in the chat he'll jump in if numbers are needed.
Well, it's probably alright, Auto. If you did jump in, it'd only be you and another car at this stage, so we'll wait and see.
We've got 1 minute left. 1 minute till this qualifying session begins. No one's out on track. They're all sitting in the pits patiently. Yep, no worries, Moto. If we are running a race 2, we will let you know. Alright, so just the 3 in for this qualifying. We've got Niffy, Jishi, and Aussie. So unfortunately, as Giffo said, if this is the only 3 that have, we've got that 1 extra. The person who comes last in all of the qualifying sessions will be awarded last place points for tonight, but unfortunately won't have a space in the race.
That's correct.
See Jishi come out first in that striking, distinct car. See Aussie's out there in the green Spotify machine, another one of the Mercedes AMG drivers. I think there's about 4 of them in the field now. I think round 1 we only had one, possibly 2 of them in. So we see Niffy's just sitting in the pits, biding his time, giving himself a bit of space. Jishi's got, if Jishi wants to get the fastest time of the Q session tonight, he's got to beat a 1 minute 10.4.
That'll be difficult in the front wheel drive, but all he's got to do to be highest in class is beat a 1:11.582.
Niffy's still sitting in the pits. So
He'd want to get
start their fast laps now.
He would want to get a lap in, young Niff. Otherwise, that'll put him as the... Oh, here he comes out now.
So I believe that time Giffo said before was set by Ando, the fastest in class.
What these drivers have to beat a 13.088 to guarantee their spot into race 1 this evening. Jeesh has guaranteed his spot.
Yeah, he's done an 11.326.
And he's gone fastest in class already.
So Jish, if he wanted to, could just park it in the pits and go for something to eat, have a drink, bit of a break, come back.
Definitely see a lot less bumping, bouncing around in the Subarus this week.
Yeah, the physics change and then all the PP changes and that. It's unsettled a few cars, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So Aussie's on another outlap. So Aussie still has not set a time this session. We're just on 3.5 minutes into the session now, so he's still got a few laps to put down. So Jishi unable to improve with a 1 minute 11.684 there. Niffy's just coming around now to that final corner. He's 0.2 purple. Subaru is a very quick car though. See how it cracks into the 10s with a 1 minute 10.938.
It puts him 4th fastest out of the current times to come in.
So Jishi's 1/10 down coming into the last corner here. Will we see him jump into the pits and get some fresh boots on? Or is he just getting some tyre telemetry data at the moment? And he keeps going. Almost beats his time there. Very, very close. We've got Aussie coming around the last corner now for his first flying lap. Aussie sets a 1 minute 13.012.
Just pipped IMAT, so it looks like IMAT has set the slowest time this evening. So, unfortunately for him, we'll be awarding him 16th place points, but he unfortunately won't be taking part in any races this evening.
And we just got him in chat, OMFR. No, unfortunately, yeah, take the points. You don't have to work for the points. You can say you won race 2. Just don't tell anyone where to view race 2. Yeah, it is what it is. If there was another, four drivers on the grid here qualifying, you'd probably get that race 2, but unfortunately, it's a bit of a smaller turnout this week. Oh, gee, man. Yeah, no, we know you get it. It's all good. It's the easiest points you've gotten, though, isn't it? Aussie jumps into the 12s now. He's just done a 1 minute 12.742. Is he showing a little bit of pace now in this car? Starting to get his times down.
So those that are in stream or watching, feel free to jump in. What I'll do is, I was doing 1 minute 10 lap time. So what we'll do is we'll set it up. It'll be a 3-minute qualifying session with a 30-second overlay for the grid quali.
Alright, so as you heard, if you did the qualifying session and your name is not IMAP, you can feel free to join. This will be the grid, these 3 guys going and everyone else from that Q1 session. Defoe's just said we'll do a 3-minute qualifying session with a 30-second overlay. That'll be enough time for everyone to get out onto the track, shuffle around, find their best spot.
Do their single flyer,
yep.
And we'll go from there. So...
See, Aussies hasn't improved yet. He's coming around this last corner now. Very close to his fastest time set 2 laps ago. So he just betters it again a little bit. 1 minute 12.687 there. He's jumped into the pits there. He's probably parked it knowing he's done enough to get through into the next session. So you see Jishi and Niffy are now on their now on a fast lap after their outlaps they just did from pitting and changing tyres. So we could see their times drop a little bit. Aussie, you had no practice at all. Yeah, no, I get you. I used to run a lot of my races with no practice. I still do. Sometimes it's good. I find if you are over practice for something, you tend to stuff up a lot more. That's just me personally though. So Niffy betters his time again. He's done a 1 minute 10.789 now. So he's only just over 3/10 off the fastest time set by Fozzie. Jishi now is just coming through to that final corner. He's 2.5 tenths down. This is going to be his final lap here. The timer has expired. See Jish cross the line now. No improvement. Bit of a handbrakey. Showing off to all those girls in the stands. See Niffy's about halfway through his last lap. Alright, Niffy will, oh no. He's gone for a bit of an excursion into the pit lane.
Crash boom Al. Alright, so if you set a lap in the previous session, except for IMAT, feel free to jump in as we're waiting for the timer to elapse. Should be shortly.
Auto, we only had the one extra person, so including yourself, there would only be 2 runners for race 2. And unless we get a fair few more people in chat saying that they're going to be doing race 2, it doesn't look like it's going to be happening. So yeah, anyone that is doing this race, make sure you jump in to the lobby as soon as this timer's run down. Giffo will be changing the settings over, getting everyone to tick in, and getting that one-shot quali underway.
Yes, so we'll get that happening now. Alright, we'll get everyone to tick in. We're still waiting on a couple of players. It looks like they're joining in now, and I believe we're looking for one more. We should have Brucey coming. Who we got here? Steve. Falls. I am. Once everyone's ticked in, we'll get this session underway.
Alright, everyone's in the lobby. Everyone just needs to tick in. We've got the settings right here. We've got the 3-minute qualifying, which is essentially one-shot qualifying, which is going to set the grid for a 33-lap race. It's the short layout of Autopolis tonight. Not many actual proper passing opportunities, but staying in that slipstream will guarantee that when you do get to those passing opportunities, you'll be able to try and move.
Is provided you cross the line with a minute remaining, you should still get your lap in. Start your lap with a minute remaining, sorry.
Alright, now everyone's starting to shuffle out onto track there. We see Giffo's come out first. Well in front of everyone else. There's a big pack here now. Into turn 2, they're all going to start settling themselves, letting the few faster drivers through, or... Oh, we've seen a car go off already.
Who's that?
That looked like Water Arrow by the looks of it. happened? Yeah, it's a bit hard to pick up on. He's back out on track now. Looks like there was a whole bunch of cars just kind of slowing down to give each other some space, and he's taken some evasive action. Anyways, one shot quali, anything can happen. We've got Giffo starting his hot lap now. We've got Niffy starting his. Foz directly behind Niff there. Rucky as well. So Foz and Rucky have got a bit of a tow for this lap. So Ando's got a nice big gap ahead of him. He won't have to worry about anything. He can just go balls to the wall. Philo's left heaps of space in front of him too. Goju's left more than enough. GC is trying to get a bit of slip off Steve-O here by the looks of it. Alright, so that's the last of them coming across the line now, setting their first flying lap. Giffo is going to be the first one to set a lap here tonight. So we'll see behind Foz is right on the back of Niff. Giffo sets a 1 minute 12.594. Wait, Fozzie's gone the quickest with Niff second and Rucky third at the moment. Gishi's in fourth. There's still half the field to come across the line. See, Water Arrow's picked up a pen that's not going to help him start off with whatsoever. Looks like Aussie's going to be the last one to set his flying lap here. There was a little bit of a corner cut. Don't know if that's going to be a pen or not. Looks like he got away with it, but that's a 1 minute 13.9 there. So Water Arrow, the big loser of the qualifying session, came out at first, copped a bit of damage, had enough time to go back to the pit and get back out, and ended up picking up a pen on that lap there. So we've got Fozzie, Brocky, Niff for your top three, then Rucky in fourth, Gishi's the first of the front-wheel drive cars lining up right next to Ando and Philo, and then Steve-O, another four-wheel drive car in eighth, and you've got G-Mackie, Brad, Goju, Giffo, Brucey, Aussie, and Water Arrow rounding out your grid there.
So for those in stream, we will be starting at 8:09 sharp.
So it's a 2 minute warning, guys. You've got 2 minutes to grab your drinks, have a stretch, get yourself set up. We'll be starting at 8:09 sharp. 2 minute call. As a viewer tonight, I've got my fingers and my toes crossed for some late race rain.
Very close qualifying between the two BSR cars. Good.
See, the time Niffy put in that qualifying session would have put him the fastest in the Q sessions, but both the BSR cars have improved on that again. And then Gishi's cracked into the 10 series on a 1 minute 10.972 in the front wheel drive car.
There's a cracking time in that car.
So we've got about 1 minute remaining before we'll kick this race off. It's now 8:09. The race is starting off. We've got 5 seconds until these guys are lined up on the grid, waiting for the lights to go out.
I'm going to jump out of here, man.
Yeah,
I'll
good
see
luck,
you on the other
mate.
side.
No worries. Alright, here we go. Ooh, as we see Foz with a false start. Oh, Nif just collects the back of him there. Doesn't look like there was any damage picked up. Fozzie's gone from first to fourth by the looks of it. Looks very clean so far coming through the field for this first corner. Ando slipped back to 10th there as all the all-wheel drive cars will have left the line like a fucking rocket. See, Fozzie's down the inside of Rucky there, regains a spot that he's lost off the grid so far. As we go back a little bit, we see they're all fighting for the real estate here. See Ando trying to go down the inside of Arrow there. Everyone is through clean, there has been no issues. So here we go, race is on, no red flags. We've got Brocky leading the way from Nif, Foz, Rucky and Steve-O's your top 5 there. Right behind him, leader of his class at the moment, Jishi in 6th. You've got Brad in 7th. Philo is sitting 8th now, Arrow in 9th, Ando 10th. Goju 11th, Giffo 12th, Mackie 13th, Brucey 14th, Aussie 15th. Sutho, how you going, mate? Welcome in. How did Ando drop to 11th? Let's have a look and find out where Ando is. So it looks like... there he is. It looks like nothing has really happened to Ando. It's just the all-wheel drive cars do get a better launch off the line there. So on that start, it just looks like they've been gobbled up by the all-wheel drive cars. Nothing, no major incidents. Thought he qualified 6th. Let's see where he was sitting at the start. Yeah, 6 C's, 1, 2. There's another one coming up 3, and then it looks like Philo got the jump on him on the inside. Yeah. So here, you're right, he did qualify at 6th. But he's been, he just got, Philo got a better launch right next to him, and then the all-wheel drive cars that were behind him have just overtaken him there. As we see Rucky make a little bit of an error, and Jishi now puts himself up into 4th place. You know, Jishi is quick in that front-wheel drive car, punching above his weight a little bit, because those Subarus are meant to be very, very quick. Now we've got Bradley pointing over the back of Rucky here. So Rucky is our teammate. We just haven't been racing the last couple of weeks. Probably tell by my voice I'm not the greatest. I don't feel like wrangling the wheel around at the moment. Just offer the full broadcast instead. As we see a little battle pack forming here. You've got Water Arrow with Philo and Ando right behind it. This will be one to keep our eye on for a little bit. We've still got Brocky and Foz in the lead there, with Niffy in 3rd. And Ando's sneaking right up to the back of Philo there. We've got Goju sitting in 10th at the moment, with Giffo not far off him. Mackie's right on the back of Giffo. The two Fords stuck together like glue at the moment. Brucey sitting there in 13th. We call him the dark horse. Watch him later on in that race. He'll look after his fuel, he'll look after his tyre. And with this new physics update, the people that look after their tyre well end up doing good later on in their stints. What track is this? Sad Bear, this is Autopolis. It is the short version. So it's missing a whole bunch of the track there on the infield. Basically what happens is we'll have a look and we'll see. This is where the track will start to change. You see Steve-O get down the inside of Brucey on the exit there. This is where the track differs in the big track. There's a big left-hand hairpin corner coming up. Just about here. You'll see it on the left. There's a bit of curb on the left there. Normally you go left. And where those cones are on your left here, that's where you come back out onto the straight afterwards. So the track has essentially been halved in this short version. Yeah, the downhill part, yeah. So we've got Aussie at 2.5 off the back of Brucey. We've got these two Fords of Mackie and Hiffo up ahead. Steve-O's right on the back of them with a half-second penalty. But we've still got Brocky in the lead of Foz. The two BSR cars are right near each other again. You've got Niff well in contention of a podium, sitting in 3rd spot. Jishi is up to 4th. He's cleared some air on Rucky at the moment. It looks like he's cleared Bradley Point a little bit. You've got Arrow and Bradley fighting a bit here. As we see, oh, who was that? Philo's come in. Philo's come in, made a move. We've got Ando at the back of this battle pack 2 here. You see Bradley Point's gone wide. Ando's going to manage to get the better of Bradley Point here. And Bradley Point's picked up a half-second penalty for his trouble, so we'll go back and we'll have a look at that. What just happened? So you've got Water Arrow and Bradley Point having a bit of a fight here. Coming up to this right-hander hairpin. There's a bit of push and shove, and Philo just manages to hook the car on the inside and make the best of it and get those 2 spots. So you've got Philo up to 6th, Water Arrow in 7th, Ando in 8th, Bradley Point in 9th here. There's a little battle pack forming. Jishi and Rucky have driven off into the distance ahead of these guys a little bit. And then we'll just go back a little bit. You've got Goju sitting in 10th, a bit of space between him and Steve-O, who's in 11th. Mackie is in 12th, Brucey's in 13th. Giffo's dropped all the way back to 14th. We've missed something there. Giffo is now in 14th spot with Aussie half a second behind him. Nice move by Philo. Yeah, Sad Bear. It was bit of elbows out racing, and Philo's just managed to take advantage of it. You see, Giffo is now under attack from Aussie. So Giffo's in the front-wheel drive car, Aussie's in the four-wheel drive car, and what we know of Aussie, he's been a bit of a tyre whisperer lately since getting back on the wheel. He's really been looking after those tyres. We just completed the 6th lap of the race. It is a 33-lap race we've got. There's a bit of fog coming in. It is random weather and it can rain at this track, so there is the potential for a wet race. At the moment it just looks a bit misty. It doesn't look like there's any moisture on the track. Nobody's wipers are on at the moment. So we see Fozzie's overtaken Brocky, who's dropped back into the clutches of Niff behind him. Brocky's used up quite a bit of that tyre. So Brocky's used the most tyre there out of the top 3 at the moment. As he just concedes a position there to Niff, so Brocky's potentially playing a longer game here. He's cooked the tyres a little bit more than he was expecting, so he's just letting Niff through to get that pressure off from behind him. I personally find it's easier to chase than lead, so Brocky's probably thinking the exact same thing here. So you got Foz currently almost a second and a half out in front of Niff, who's got Brocky half a second behind him. And then 4.5 seconds down the road we have Jeesh, and then about another second and a half behind him is Rucky. So Jeesh is sitting 4th overall and 1st in his class of the front wheel drives. While the other cars, all the other cars in the top 5 at the moment, or top 6 even, they're all all-wheel drive. Saesions 123, if that's how you pronounce it. Welcome in. How you going? Thanks for the follow. What is the serve? Don't know what you mean by serve, but bonjour, as Sad Bear has said. Speak bad English. Speak English very bad. All good, mate. All good. Basic communication is all you need. Essentially, you've tuned into us on round 7 of the Jamco TCR Cup. This is the second last round that we are doing in this series. We've got 2 classes of cars. We've got the all-wheel drive class and a front-wheel drive class, and they're all on track together at the same time. So you'll see Jishi here. He's sitting in 4th place in the distinct entry. He's driving a front-wheel drive class car, but he is currently leading his class. So yeah, all the other cars around him are all-wheel drives. We'll just go through the field a little bit. You've got Water Arrow in 6th, Philo sitting in 7th with Ando off the back of him. So Ando hasn't really let Philo out of his sights since the start. He's been there, kind of closest to him the entire time. So Philo and Ando are sitting 2nd and 3rd in their class. We'll go back a little bit. You've got Steve-O, then you've got Bradley Point, who was a big loser out a few laps ago, dropped a whole bunch of positions. You've got Goju sitting there in 11th, Mackie in 12th, Brucey 13th, Giffo is in 14th, still under pressure from Aussie behind him in 15th. Yes, so this is a league race, mate. We can set you up with an invite to join the Discord, and then what we can do from there is once you've been given a Discord invite, you can jump in, have a look, see if the times work for you. There's the Discord link. Jump in, have a look, see if the times work for you. We essentially race pretty much every night of the week now. As you see, Fozzie's got 2.5 seconds plus onto Niff, who's under threat by Brocky here behind him. So Brocky's, that front right tyre is not as good as Niffy's front right tyre, but only by a little bit, but the rest of the tyres are all exactly the same there. The fuel's exactly the same. So Brocky jumping out of Niff's way earlier is working out for him. They're both sitting about 2.5 seconds back off Foz in the lead. So both the Brocky Sim Racing cars are fighting for overall positions here for the podium. Gishi's still first in his class. Big comfortable lead there over Rucky, who is sitting 5th overall, 4th in class with Water Arrow 6th overall, 5th in class, and then you've got Philo and Ando just here having a bit of a battle. We'll jump on board with Ando for a lap. Sabo with the gift subs, really appreciate it, thank you mate. So we've got Ando just sitting back on Philo here, he's in slipstream. Just following as we've gone for a lap around the Autopolis short track here. Not a very technical track, it's just a very flowy track. You want to get on the power as much as possible. There's quite a lot of time spent at full throttle. Sector 2 is the only sector where you've really got to modulate your brake and your throttle. Looks like Ando's gotten a little bit of a push from Steve-O behind. He's gone on the offensive here on Philo. There's been a little bit of a tap by the looks of it between the two of them. I think Ando's let off the throttle just a little bit. And Steve-O's now going around the outside here. So Steve-O, decent move there on these two. We'll just stay with him for a moment. We'll go back and see what happened. Steve-O's got a 2 for there. Great commentary while you wait an emergency. Cut your finger cutting onions for dinner. Oh Jesus. Tears from the onion and tears from a sliced can. Hope it's not too bad, mate. I've had my fair share of cuts and stitches and that. Just quickly go back and see what Steve-O did here. So I'm pretty sure Steve-O's put a bit of a bump on Ando into that first corner. And Ando's taken advantage of that. Tried to go for a move on Philo. Philo's defended it. Ando and Philo have touched. And that just meant Steve-O could take it around the outside of the corner. Great bit of driving from Steve-O there. Philo and Ando are still going at it. We'll go through the field again. We've got Fozzie now out to a 4.5 second lead. He's really putting the foot down ahead of Niff and Brocky. It looks like Brocky is making a bit of a move here on Niff. Then behind these guys you've got Jishi and Rucky, all with a fair bit of space. And then you'll get back to Water Arrow, who's got a little bit of a gap over Steve-O, who's that car that just got ahead of Philo. So you see Brocky just make the move on Niff there on that last corner. Textbook move. Jishi's in 4th, leading his class and category. He's sat there basically the entire race. We've got Rucky in 5th, Water Arrow in 6th, Steve-O in 7th. We've still got Ando on the back of Philo here battling over 8th place. Goju is in 10th. We've got a bit of a battle brewing here between Bradley, Mackie and Brucey. We get to keep it. Oh, I don't think he meant he's cut his finger off. I think he's just cut his finger. My best one was I bought a fishing knife, and as I was cutting the packet open with scissors, my hand slipped and I got the tip of the knife. So before the knife was even out of the packaging, it caused me 7 stitches. So that was a fun one. And I hope you get through that emergency room pretty quick, because that's a place that does your head in when you sit there for a while. Just go on board with Brucey at the moment, as he's all over the back of Mackie. He's all over the back of Bradley Point here. Coming up close to the halfway mark, so we'll go through and we'll have a look at everyone's tyres and fuel situation in a moment. Just see if Brucey or Mackie can make a move on the cars ahead here. Bruce is now about halfway on his fuel. That front right hand tyre's copped a bit. Oh, what's happened there? Brucey with a moment, the code brown. He's just come out of the corner. He's hit the brakes. Oh, it's a bit hard to tell. He's picked up some damage. Looks like he's hit the brakes possibly the tiniest bit too late, swerved to avoid the car ahead, and then the car's just clocked back and veered to the left there. So you got Bradley Point in at the moment with damage. He's going to get a fresh set of tyres on. He's going to refuel that car. He's probably going to try and take it home to the end of the race. Brucey's going to do the same thing. They're both going to fix their damage. Fozzie's going over the line now. He's got almost a 7-second gap to Brocky. Let's get back into that view. So we've got Foz there in the lead. As we see, Brucey's now come out being blue flagged with Brocky and Niffy right behind him. So he's going to have to yield there. Not what he wants, not ideal. And Jishi's kind of reeled in this battle for 2nd and 3rd at the moment. Cut a tiny bit of your finger off one of those big paper guillotines. Had my finger a bit too close to the plate, so I put it down. Yeah, it's easy to do, isn't it? I've worked in kitchens and that with chefs that have been missing parts of their fingers and that. Luckily I still have all of my fingers, every single bit of them. But yeah, it's a really common thing to cut off a little bit of your finger on any kind of cutting or guillotine machine, or in the industry of being a chef or a butcher, etc. It's not nice, is it? So we've got Fozzie. He's looking pretty crappy on his front right-hand tyre there. His rear tyres are pretty good, as we'd expect. That front left-hand tyre is just under half wear at the moment. He's got about 1/3 of a tank fuel. Niffy's got about 1/3 of a tank fuel, but both of his front-hand tyres are struggling. As we see, Brocky is now in the pits. Arrow's now in the pits. Jishi is now catching up Jishi amazingly has looked after those front tyres. It's now allowed him to get fast. This is it. This is what the new physics has done. Those people that can save their tyres, they're a tiny bit slower a lap at the start, but they're saving much, much more of their tyre. When you get to these later stages of the races where the other drivers are really pushing their car to try and stay on time and really wear out those tyres, you keep your tyres in that optimum range where you get your best laps at. And obviously Jishas aren't in the optimum range anymore, but they are a lot better than Niffy's ahead, and Niffy's going to be forced to pit this lap. Jish can go again if he wants. Rucky's doing alright on his tyres, it's just that front right hand tyre that's been copping the brunt of it at the moment. So the above the nail on your thumb is gone. Is that what you've just done tonight? Cut off that like centimetre above your thumbnail. Oh, that sucks. It's gonna feel a bit more than a pinch, isn't it? That's a nice decent amount there. Yeah, it's more than Sad Bear. It's more than a cut. So we've got Jishi, who's now assumed the lead of this race. We got Rucky still out there at the moment in second. Fozzie's pit is 8 seconds behind Rucky at the moment. His pit, he's put 2/3 of a tank of fuel in. He is fueled home. He is ready to go home. 8 seconds behind him is Brocky, who's on the same fuel and tyre numbers, only pitting 1 lap before. Niffy is the exact same as well, slightly less fuel than 2 cars ahead, but he's sitting there in 5th, not too far off the back of Brocky. So we've seen very early in the first few laps, Brocky succumb to Niff, let him past, yielded that position and then sat on the back of him that entire time, and it looks like it's worked out well for him. He's jumped him quite a bit there in the pits, as we see. Now Jishi and Rucky come in the pits. We've got Water Arrows been in the pits, Demo's been, they've all been in the pits. Aussie hasn't been in the pits yet. He's still got more than half on his tyres. Not on the fuel though, so we could have saved that fuel. He could have possibly made it home with a no stop. But he's only got 1/4 of a tank of fuel left. It looks like everybody else is pitted. So you had Brucey and GMR Bradley Point pit very early because they came together. It was a little mistake by Brucey. They came together. They're both forced to pit that little bit early, so they're going to have to go a bit longer on their stints now. As you see, their tyre wears a bit more than Giffo's ahead. So Brucey with a lot less fuel than Giffo though. Brucey tends to sip his fuel. So we see Brad, half-second penalty behind here with Brucey. So Foz has just dominated this race from the start to this halfway point now. He's going to come around and he's going to start his 20th lap. He is essentially 2/3 of the way through this race now, with a formidable 8.5 second lead over his teammate and team owner Brocky 05. Niffy's only 1.5 seconds behind Brocky, and then Jish is 2.5 seconds behind Niff, so Jish still punching well above his weight in that front wheel drive car, mixing it up with some of the all wheel drives. And then you've got Rucky sitting in 5th at the moment. It looks like if we go to, looks like Ando's gotten ahead of Philo, whether that was in the pits or whether that was on track. We didn't quite catch that, but they were really close together for a while. So you've got Ando, he's 2nd in class, and Philo sitting 9th, who is 3rd in class, with Aussie sitting in 10th, who is still yet to pit, but he's getting the most out of his tyres first. He's doing very well on that tyre save. Was rushing a bit on a freshly sharpened knife. Yeah, don't rush in the kitchen, mate. It's it can be a bit dangerous. But yeah, it's I mean, yeah, one of your thumbs now is a few grams lighter. Yeah, it's just the skin there. Your bone finishes like well before where you cut. Well, at least you've got a bit of a story to tell, and a bit of an awkwardly shaped tip of the thumb. Let's just go back here. You got Goju sitting in 11th. He's about 10 seconds off the back of Aussie, who still needs to pit. So when Aussie does pit, Goju will reclaim 10th position there, with G-Mackie now 1.8 seconds behind him. Giffo's about 15 seconds down the road. We've got Brad, who's made the pass on Brucey. So these two have been connected pretty much all race. Having a nice little battle here for not last. So you got Fozzie coming up to the back here. He's going to be setting off blue flag warnings to Giffo, Brad and Brucey. We're in their own little battle here. So Foz will come up behind him, a bit of a flash in a minute. Slow, just enjoying the racing. Are you on drugs yet? Know what they would have said to him when he came into the ER? Here's 2 Panadol, go sit down, we'll be with you in 3 hours. That's more than likely what they've told him and given him. They wouldn't give him anything decent for the pain until he was actually seen by a doctor. So it looks like Fozzie's making his way past him now. Giffo's got a half-second penalty. He'll serve that. That'll allow Foz to get through, but that'll also allow Bradley to get very aggressive here on corner exit. He's right on the back of Giffo here. A bit swervy, he doesn't know which way to go. He's given him the flash too. He goes down the inside here. Giffo does well to hold it as well as he can around the outside. He hasn't let the position go yet. But this will also give Bradley a run on the inside here. He gets it done. Giffo fight back because Giffo got an answer for him. Brucey's sitting at the back of this, licking his lips, going, come on boys, keep fighting. As we finally see Aussie jump into the pits. So he's taking on some fuel now and he's going to duck out. Interesting to see where he ducks out in relation to it. So there's Fozzie. So Aussie comes out ahead of Brad and Giffo at the moment. So Aussie's done very well in the strategy there. He's gone long, he hasn't had to fill up as much. So we've got that battle now, so it's going to be a 4-car battle for 12th spot very soon. We'll go through the field yet again and have a look. You've got Fozzie out to a 10-second lead over his teammate in Brocky, who's leading Niff by 2.5 seconds. And then we go back to 4th here. Jishi leading his class at the moment. The front-wheel drive categories, we've got a yellow flag up in. It's cleared, so not sure exactly what's happened or who it's happened to. But Jishi leading his class in 4th place here. And you got, Stevo's getting really aggressive on Rucky. We'll just go back and take a quick look. So you see Stevo's all over the back of Ruckus here. All over the back of him, and then come into this corner. Stevo tries to send it down the inside. Makes the contact, lets off. Rucky keeps on driving. But that's brought Water Arrow right up to the back of them now. So I dare say Water Arrow will be trying to catch up to the back of this little battle in 5th overall here. Then we'll go back, you've got Ando, who's now put 6.5 seconds on Philo. And he's catching up to this little battle that's going on between Rucky, Arrow and Stevo. potentially see another front-wheel drive coming up and mixing it up with some of the all-wheel drive cars. Goj is now up to 10th because Aussie pitted. So he's assumed 10th. He's a good 18 seconds behind Philo. He's got 3 seconds behind Damaki. So he's got a bit of breathing space. He's got no direct pressure on him. He can just hit his numbers and race his race. Mackey's in 11th. We've got Aussie still in 12th. It's now cleared Brucey by 2 seconds. We've got Brucey's now in 13th with Brad and Giffo's right down the back there. So I'm not sure if we can see anything that happened or Giffo's already down the back. So Niffy's now come through. Geesh is about to come through and lap Giffo. Brucey's made his way up into 13th place. Going to start trying to hunt down Aussie now. 2.2 seconds is the gap. Brucey's very smooth on his inputs, very good on his tyre wear and stuff that Aussie is as well. We've got Bradley points, it's half a second behind here. Brocky's right on him. That's what it looks like for Brocky, trying to fight in amongst traffic. He makes the move done on Brucey, so he is now gotten ahead of those back markers. So Jishi's gotten around Giffo now. Which is interesting because Nick's right there. He's now starting to get around some of these back markers. Will that hold him up a little bit? Will Jish get a better run through? He's got about 2.5 seconds to Rucky ahead of him. Rucky gets caught up behind a car for a corner or two. This could change and we could see Geesh potentially fighting for 3rd position overall. Looks like Steve-O has finally got past Ruckus here. So Steve-O's now taken 5th overall. We've got Ando now in 7th overall. That had already happened. So Ando's managed to make his way up to 7th after starting in 6th, being in 10th by the time of the first corner, and he's had to fight his way up a little bit. It's been a really good drive from him. If he in 3rd, about 2 seconds behind Rocky, and he's got about 2.5 seconds behind him to Geesh. Geesh has a much better tyre than Niff as well, so we'll start seeing lap times change. Geesh will get faster than Niff. Alright, we've got roughly about 5 laps to go now, so we'll go through that field for you. As we just see Aussie let Niffy pass there. It's really helping Niff keep ahead of Geesh, but that could change in the next few laps. So we'll go through. We've got Fozzie, he's got about a quarter of a tank of fuel. He's 11.5 seconds ahead of his teammate and team owner. In it, Brocky's got a quarter of a tank of fuel and about half left on his front right hand tyre. Brocky's got a little bit less on his front tyres, same amount of fuel. Niff's about 2.5 seconds behind Brocky at the moment with half wear on his front right hand both tyres. So he's got better front tyres and he's got half a tank of fuel. Geeshi's still got more than 2/3 left on both of his front tyres and a quarter of a tank of fuel, so he's going to start reeling in Niff in the next few laps, I believe. Steve-O, he's got about half left on his tyres. He's got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. He's got Rucky 2 seconds behind. He's got about 1/3 left on that front right hand tyre, a bit more on the front left, and just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. You've got Ando behind. He's got very similar tyres to what Geeshi has, so he's got much better tyres than the cars ahead of him. Quarter of a tank of fuel. Got Water Arrow, he's almost cooked that front right-hand tyre. He's still got a quarter of a tank of fuel. Philo in 9th, he's got decent tyres, more than half left on him, just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. Goju's got very well on his tyres, he's got more than half left on both of them. More than a quarter of a tank of fuel. As we see, G Mackie, he's got just under half on that front right-hand tyre, just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. Aussie, he's got just over a quarter of a tank of fuel and brand new sparkling softs compared to the entire grid. He was the last of the pitters and he does very well on his tyre wear. You got Brucey, who, even though being one of the first few people to pit, he's got about half left on his tyres and just under a quarter of a tank of fuel. So he's done very well on his tyre save. GMR Brad, now he's struggling. Both of his front tyres are only got a quarter left. He's got a quarter of a tank of fuel, so we could see him really slip in the next couple of laps. Kifo's got just under half on his front right-hand tyres and about a third of a tank of fuel. So Kifo's got the fuel to send it, and the tyres to send it up right ahead of him. As we see, Jishi is now really, really close to Nif. Just jump on board for a second. Right, here we go. Jishi's coming around. They're about to start lap 31 of 33, so there's only going to be 3 more laps. These guys, they're about 16 seconds off the lead. It's less than a second between these two cars now. We've got Nif ahead with the Subaru, who's arguably a faster car, but Jishi in the Honda Civic that's used much less of its front end tyres. See the wear difference, you can see Nif's losing time. She's bound to be making a move sometime soon. He'd know that that four-wheel drive car would be struggling on its tyre. If he goes for the block, but you can see it's just really hard for him to complete the entire turn. Doesn't hook it in as tight as he wants it to, leaves it a bit open on exit. She's just a lot more comfortable in that car at the moment with the better tyres on it. He will be making a move here. See, he flicks it to the outside. Let's see if he can make a move around the outside happen. Very wide and late on the brakes there, coming in for a bit of a faster exit to try and get him up there for turn 1. He's got 2 laps to make it happen. He's right on the rear bumper of Nif now as he moves to the inside. He's going to try and send it through the corner. Can he get it in the braking zone? Jishi makes it happen. Nif's not letting it happen though. Nif's got the spot back. It's the side by side here into turn 2 now. Jishi's trying to hold it around the outside. He knows if he can keep it around the outside, he gets the inside for the next couple of corners. That's exactly what he's done. If he blocks off the inside to this turn here, Nif won't be able to get a jump. With Nif's tyre wear problem, Jish should be able to start driving away from him now. So very patient, very well done there by Jishi, getting the move done on Nif. So we are about to start the last lap for these guys. The leader has already started his last lap. So you got now Ando's on the back of Rucky here, so we could potentially see another spot gained by Ando. He started in 6th. So he's potentially thinking about lining it up here into turn 1. Is it Group 4? No, these are road cars that have specific aero and horsepower and PP and weight, and they're made to be like a group car, but they're actually the road going versions of these cars. See, Ando can't make the move done on Rucky there as we see Giffo get out of the way for these two, have their battle. So we just see Foz now, he's about to come across the line, he's on the back of Goju here. Final lap done. Fozzie comes across the line in first place, a dominating drive by him. 13.5 seconds down the road, we will have Brocky come across in second. We've got Jishi, who's made a podium position in the front wheel drive work for him. So he's won his class, he's got third overall and won his class. You've got Niffy, who's got third in the all-wheel drive class, fourth overall. Looks like Steve-O's going to come in for fifth overall, as he's going to come across the line now. Well done. You've got Rucky and Ando side by side, fighting over it. Oh, that was close. It looks like Rucky's just got an Ando there for a drag race in the line. Philo's going to get the job done by a second over Water Arrow here, so Water Arrow comes home in 9th place. Goju still circling around the track, is about to finish in 10th. Then you have G Mackie in 11th, Aussie 12th, Brucey 13th, Bradley Point 14th, and Kifo coming home with the wooden spoon from this race. Well done to everyone. Well done, guys. That was a good drive there by Jishi, and at the end as well, Ando fighting with some all-wheel drive cars. Look at that tyre wear difference though. Ando had heaps of tyre left compared to Rucky. Alright, so we had Foz come home with the lead, the fastest lap. So he had the clean sweep of pole, fastest lap, and race win. Congratulations to Foz. Brocky in second, so you got the BSR cars first and second, as we normally see them. They're right up there all the time. Jishi with an amazing effort to come home in third overall, winning his front wheel drive class, but getting on the podium as well. Very well done. Niff in fourth. Steve-O in fifth overall. Rucky in sixth. You got Ando and Philo in seventh and eighth, who will come home in second and third for the front wheel drive category. Then we had Water Arrow in ninth overall, Goju in 10th, and then Mackie, Aussie, Brucey, Brad, and Gifo to round out the grid. Very well done for everyone there. Great racing, great viewing, great respect on the track. There was a couple of bumps and stuff that we've seen, but we've seen it all redressed straight away. As everyone's aware, any incidents on track that have happened that you'd like to put a report in about, please let Gifo or the S2T admin know, and they will review it for you. That's done for tonight. Well done. That's round 7. So we've got one more round left in the Street2Track TCR series. Where are we next? So it'll be the last round coming up is at Suzuka East for 36 laps. So I believe Suzuka's another track where it can potentially rain. So we had a nice dry race. It did get a little bit hazy and misty, but there was no water involved. Might see some water next week, but Suzuka next week will be the final round of the series. Cheers, Nakedy. You can I join when you race? Yeah, if you just check out the Discord, mate. It's got all the series on all the nights and stuff. So we're on Monday night series at the moment, which is an approved driver list. But tomorrow night series, the Tuesday series is open to everyone. The only nights that are approved driver nights are Mondays and Thursdays at the moment. So just jump on the Discord. Down in the side there, you'll have the GT7 nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Jump in, take a look, see what the regulations are. Got any questions, just ask. Someone will sort you out in the chat as well. Cheers, Nakedy. I don't know how the fuck you did 22 laps on soft tyres. If you could have made your fuel last, Aussie, you could have no-stopped those tyres. That was good. GG's from Autotomoto there. Well done, everyone. That was some great racing, some great viewing. I'm just happy happy that we managed to get through it without spluttering and coughing too much. Just have a look and see who's on that we can raid into. There doesn't really seem to be too many people on at the moment playing Gran Turismo. Alright, thank you guys for showing up tonight. Thanks everyone in chat that came along and kept us company. It was great chatting to you and watching the race. We are going to go raid into Jishi, who came third in our race tonight. So it looks like he's still playing Gran Turismo at the moment, so we're going to go and visit him. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next week on Monday, we've got the last round at Suzuka East. So we'll see you then.